I'm currently living in Vienna, in Austria, where I'm finishing my master thesis in Tibetology and Buddhist studies. I just last week gave my professor my master thesis, my final work assignment, let's say, and so I hope I will be done soon. And I studied Tibetan in India and Nepal for about 4 years. That's quite some time ago. I don't remember how many years. And I translated ever since, more or less. So I've been a translator for, I don't know, the past maybe 5 or 6 or even more years. I lost track of time, so I don't know, but many years. And mainly I'm translating in Buddhist centers around Europe, sometimes also in Asia. When I'm in India, I translated in Kibi for the study program in KIPS some years ago, and sometimes I translate in the International Karma Kagyu meeting in Bodh Gaya. So that's what I do. And I guess that's enough about me. So yeah, today let's start this experience. I don't know if how this will work. I hope my internet connection will be good enough. And yes, Lama Jampa and I have met in Renchen-Ulm, in Body Path Renchen-Ulm in Germany, where he gave Nyungne teachings and retreat already for 3 times. So that's how I know Lama Jampa.
Hola, so tene Tsama Tamji la tene ngando tering nyam tunzom gawa shumzong tene Tsama la kungam debo yungwe ge samdrishiya inse.
First of all, Lamala would like to welcome all of you. He is very happy to meet all of you here online together, and he hopes and wishes that you are all doing well.
Ne ngaron to Tsama ta chik shugik chawa kare china tomar ngaron to rongyen Tsama tene kunlong se ya tipe kishimbare samba shangjup semge kunlong se ya tipe samba yasho shangjup semge se ya ti kishimbare ti chano to ti to la nenden shikyo te ngaron ge des ngola chik domba chik tangrins hindo chik.
Whenever we practice the Dharma, it is very important that at the beginning we focus on the proper motivation. This is really, really important. So what motivation are we talking about here? About the intention of bodhicitta. This is what we call the really wide intention or motivation. So please, focusing on that, all of you, it is really important. Please focus on that now, and as a support of that, also Lamala would like to start today with a recitation. Lamala, I cannot see you actually. Where are you now? I see only your shrine. That's good.
You lose, yeah. Last one, around getting la soon that you means.
Lamala will do the prayer first.
John Den Jambe Yala Chad Lord Kongi Lord Dini Dinda Namda Rabdewa Chini Dungun Chikin Nije to Galiban Konda Sibe Tora Mare Mundo Dungi Jide Dwarkula Buje Tate Hadu Yan Ruta Shero Yumunino Diki Champo Dunde Mare Muzi Dungi Ni Junde Renam Dune Daje Saju Tardo Yundin Jambi Yala Marabadana de Dendigi Jirawa Lawa Temu Mubara Kata Tenju Jumu Damba Yotru Baben Awase to the concert Awan Duvan Chumzi Chuan Dana Yang Gomban Janyan Kimi Bayan Jiwa Yo Tata Senje Tamji Lo Shutun Rawa Shinji Labdo Chu Lamdun Rawa Shinji Labdo Nam Triba Sewa Shinji Labdo Chuba Yeso Shawa Shinji Labdo Soro Tobe Taki Chuba Shinji Labdo Soro Tuji Shinji Chuba Shinji Labdo Tende Tabla Giva Shinji Labdo Zonditi Potan Demba Shinji Labdo So Tene Maranzo Tatini Manzo Tete Konzoro 민중 다 전집선다 영탁배 따와 디콜에 드닝한도 때때서 here is.
So today, Lamala would like to first talk about the.
드닝어마.
So you have already spoken about the point of renunciation, of turning the mind away from samsara. In other words, you have also talked about bodhicitta, the mind of awakening, and about the proper view.
다다 드링 알아도 때스야 뭐 제네식 등담 뒤준도 섬이 권비를 아도 등단 냠들라 뭐뭐 냠리 나리여리 다듯이 디콜 때스야 뭐 말아 kon신신라고 싶게서 히아인스.
And today Lamala would like to speak about the practice of Chenrezi, which is a practice that all of you have been practicing together for quite some time. And Lamala will do his best in speaking and explaining about this practice.
네, 다다 건도를 지도하는 제레스기 직당 알아서 냠내서야 때 캡션버리 되네. 저쪽에 지기 검대도서 콜라콘좀 하코기 열이 되네요. 다다 말하는 게 지값 바발랑 알아서 다 알아서 다다냐 정말 지가마가 이게 건도 알아서 군도게 초조 협직이 되네. 가jap도 지텔라 this is some tandai somala beja yoris.
In general, this practice is really widely spread. It is a very powerful practice. All of you are quite familiar with it already, and all of us are also part of this family of the Kagyu lineage. We are Dharma brothers and sisters, and also all of you probably have now the commentary from the 15th Karmapa Kakyap Dorje to the practice.
Tere tene techi du ngaranto ta di nala tene chitane ngaranto chukare nyamzulana telape piyong shembo da tene sung hiyoris.
In general, whatever Dharma practice we do, it is known to be a very beneficial action, a very beneficial kind of practice whenever we practice the Dharma.
tene tanda lakpa tu ngaranto tang jeresik tangdong jibu luge rupda nila tene ngaranto tene tab devo da tene chik ngaranto khanza chungme tsamige lamdo laglen shi dewan rabu tene ge keju mambo yozaris.
And in particular, now the practice we are talking about today, the practice of Chenrezi in the tradition of Tangtung Gyalpo, is a very great practice because it is truly accessible for all people. It is very, very practical and easy to put into practice.
Tishi tu ngaran soge tige chi nyamne yakpo yungya da tine chi hyungne sung shakba na yinge pinyo tu sa tsende yakpo yungya la tine tila chi ngaran soge chi shagin rabo chi kala kala tsanggo yoris.
In general, in order to be successful in practice, to be able to put into practice a beneficial practice and to have all the benefits of the practice, then there should be certain causes and conditions that have to be brought together, or certain circumstances that have to be applied.
Techi Gudungaran Sogeta Nindege Shogandabu Kari, Chigi Yonan Gola, Karisung Juras and Yijung no Latin, Ninjung Counter Kowal and Ninjung Yogi, the Samba down, Simbe Shonjib Semji Queen Lone, the Nimarato, Shogan Ujitel and Yamin Drogo Yoris.
So usually, how is it explained also now in all the various commentaries and treatises about practices, that when we start a ritual at the very beginning, we have to generate the proper motivation. So that is to turn the mind away from samsara, to generate renunciation, and also the mind of awakening, bodhicitta. And these explanations, we always find them also at the beginning of the ritual in these, with small letters. Not, we always have the big letters, and then we have a part of small letters where there is some sort of explanation.
Tindege Samba Yapo, Yongin Chige, Ninjung Shanj Tindege, Samba Sandenge Chige, around the Genetic Yamnechina, Ratin, Karachina, Yamne Latin, Putabo, that contour Yapo Nam Yamne, Yapo Shagayoris.
And therefore, when we have this motivation, that mindset, so the mindset of renunciation, as well as the motivation of bodhicitta, and we on that basis engage in some kind of dharma practice, whether it's Chenrezig or another, then that practice will be very beneficial. It will be very accurate and powerful.
Shoot Mombo, chicken, Namdram Mombo, Donga, Shoe Mombo, he, around the Hag Gomyala, Sopa Tindregin, Yamne Mombo, Chinaya, the shoe lamb the Yapon drum, Mundra say at it, and the Yomatin around to get Ninjung the Shonship system that he get Kuno Yapos, Singoyate, a Kishan Boris, it Mujile, Mundra Tosh, say at it. Tenda Bugi somebody minute and around the Hag Gomyala, Sopa Tindregi. Yamne Mombo China, the Nenga Butako Mu Tende, Mombo Yoris.
So, if a practice is beneficial and accurate and successful, does not depend on how many kind of varieties we practice, on how many different Yidam deities we might visualize or meditate upon. That's not any kind of guarantee for a successful practice. But what guarantees a successful practice, a beneficial practice, is exactly the mindset of renunciation, as was mentioned, as well as the motivation of bodhicitta. And that's why these are said to be so very important. And sometimes there is a certain saying which says the preparation is even more important, even more deep than the actual part of the practice. So this is what is meant by that we really have to build the practice on these pillars of renunciation and motivation to make sure that the practice will be beneficial and successful. In fact, there are many stories about practitioners who did all kinds of practices, but without success because they were missing or lacking this kind of foundation.
Around so Tanda, Beta, Womatinde, Loju Tinde, Laji, Kayige, Flatinde, Mombo Drumne, Samba Shonjipsim, the Mazin, Yawa Shimala Tinde, Yaji, Council Gender, the top symbol, and Lasso, but Tindege, Loju Yoris.
So, for instances, there are some stories of practitioners who accomplished various Yidam deities, but they never integrated properly bodhicitta into their practice. And this was said that these practitioners then would, for instance, be reborn in their next life as some sort of demon or ghost being.
그냥 알아서 인중기 다 전주게 셈야고 대다 소소를 대바여나 되는 하게 예름게 검단도서 밑바 듣삼게 다 약버시마는 소소기 대바시 모바시는 너 땡땡 약본 줍투기여리스
mikpam yapumena yang.
듣삼게 세게 밑바시 따와 예름게 밑바도서 시신 시따와 약본 마기는 소소기 대바다 이시치네 되게 약보 줍향네요 텔레 줍르기 모바여리스
Re tanda tepa yidamla.
근데 하다 제네싱 답 줍이나 라우
Re. And if instead one engages and generates this motivation of bodhicitta, and on top of that generates faith and devotion towards the yidam that one is practicing, in this case Chenrezi, then even though we might not be 100% stable in our visualization while we generate the yidam and we focus on the parts of the visualization, it might be that we are not very stable, but still if we have bodhicitta, if we have strong faith, strong devotion towards the yidam, then there is reported that many practitioners accomplish the practice on that basis.
대치등 알아서게 되네 상어 모베겐 로세 안다버든데 뒤준데 해소여스 소소게 다지 모바야 보시면 되긴 좀 그래.
Tambipa di tepa tandindela kogora.
다 딘데라 거거리다 모바페 차게나 소소게 제네식다 제타와 힌데 고마기나 제네스 우 소소게 다 지원다번 딘데 요 산베게 모바지여라 딘다번.
Re. And therefore there is the saying that a Vajrayana practice gets accomplished on the point of how do we say
모바페 차게나 소소게 사제네스 주비오나 제네스 소소게다 제타와 힌데 차인차와 고마기나 다 속소지다 제네스 군도 가본다고 해진다고 차이 딘데 지소소 상기 탐지게 다 건조거든데 다 능지게 라서 된다고 써서 요 산되게 뒤모 봤대.
Yeah. So let me just, sorry, I want to look up quickly this word in English. So they say there is a saying that Vajrayana is accomplished by way of our orientation or our mindset, we could say in English. So for instance, if we are, although maybe we are not very stable in our visualization, we have this very strong firm faith and conviction that Chenrezi is really present there now with us, on top of our heads, that he's the embodiment of compassion and so forth. And that is also a very powerful tool to accomplish the practice. We do not necessarily have to be completely clear about the visualization.
Tindre mobaji sozoge manela soba tindre taane drupyange tindre na tindre chi kondo roje ta yamjen la soba tindre ke chidipe yakba tindre mombolo here yoris.
So there are many stories about practitioners who, based on this firm faith, this really strong focus and trust in Chenrezi, then recited the 6-syllable mantra and gained accomplishment in the practice.
Lama purze.
Ore.
Lama purze tine kompe hindu tukdam hyu tine tinde pe ta yamde tinde pe me yakba tin rina lama purze koro jiton tinde peje게 nenga yakba tinde hingenji tsawa tinde mari ti kabla chonda ti Jampa boje te yozari konge ngala sungsung 당원이 대바다 되게 그 뉴바리 세동원이 레도 라마티다 남주 라메 꾸용 천주 간지 하고 그래발라 대시비지 근데 말이 되나다
Die Shangpa Rinpoche ki. Shangpa Rinpoche, alle, Yuri, alle, alle. For instance, all of you maybe have heard about the late Lama Purtse from Dakpo, who, after he passed away a few years ago, abided in the Tukdam, in the state of meditation after the mind leaves the body for several days. And Lama Purtse was not, somebody who had learned a lot, studied a lot of deep philosophy. He was a pretty simple Lama, and in fact, then later on, Shangpa Rinpoche reported to Lama Jampa that who had apparently been there when Lama Purtsela passed, that it really seems that that's what they mean when they say that faith or devotion is the crucial part in practice, in the Vajrayana practice, because that's an example that Lama Purtsela gave us.
대바다 텐데 탐지 야고 미신이 추긴 내가 뭐 야심보 하코든 페트비오 말에서 강화는 대바티게 알아서 있다 야 상기세는 제레식세는 되게 실랍 주야라 알아서 티 텐디 듣고 요레스
대바디
나오나
and therefore it is not any kind of guarantee to be very learned in an intellectual level in the Dharma, but the guarantee is firm faith. It's to keep our samayas, commitments pure, and that is really the gateway to receive the blessing of the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So the best, of course, is when we have both wings. We have the wing of the skills, of knowledge, of being acquainted, and also on an intellectual level of knowing the Dharma, knowing many skillful ways of the Dharma, but at the same time, then also that we have the other wing, the wing of faith and devotion.
건도 추게 냠네 지던 잡으지 내가 뒤뒤지는 않아도 많이 탐미리스 배차잖아다 근데 지금 많이 있는 않아도 냠네 지도 하고 만도나 단소도게 인중 전집선 아와 티게 지심be 거니 소소 티 яб절 용야라 소소게 토바 컨트듯이 토지도도니요 라레 컨트듯이야 됐다는 것이 유치하더레스 테마도 지금 알아서 단다 니두게 주주 세 동동을 저와 잡을 때 지금 하나 산지게 손이 배 야심벌이 사마지 알아서 지금 롭중 지하게 근데 지금 거갑이 탑이요 말 티지딩 알아서 지금 라마 기버 담바데 근데 게 라글레 따 쇼쇼 뭐 내가 뒤샵도 두절라 알아서 저네트 라글레 냠네시아 티케션 번다레스
And of course, it is essential to know to some extent the Dharma and the Dharma practices. So for instance, how to visualize, how to meditate on Chenrezi when we do this sadhana. So of course, we cannot ignore that. So we really have to get a certain kind of knowledge to some extent. So in short, this means we should look to the proper mindset of renunciation, of turning the mind away from samsara. Then we should also think about the proper motivation of bodhicitta, and then try to learn as much as possible about the Dharma, about the practice that we want to do, and then but also that we put it into practice, all of that. So this is very important that we combine these various points. Otherwise, if we, wanted to learn first all the Dharma, all the aspects of Dharma in great detail before we started to practice, then there would be no chance for that, because in this time that we call the time of degeneration, it is so that we human beings are very busy, first of all, so we always somehow lack time. Our lives are short, and at the same time, the teachings of the Buddha are very, very vast. There are so many and vast teachings of the Buddha that we don't have the chance to learn all of them, to study all of them. And therefore, it is so very important that we do, as was mentioned, you focus on these essential points of the proper mindset and motivation, the amount of knowledge enough to put everything into practice in the proper way. And then we apply the practices that were given to us through a lineage going back to a noble being, a guru of the past, who transmitted it up to today.
근데 말아서 지 추가를 지금 냠내 지이나 말아서 시주 연탁바세가 열이지 당 말아서 지 세치마라 섬도 돈에 근데 지야 때 계신버리스 거라서는 근데 아 세치마 소소 때는 말아서 지 돈에 시와 메다 바리 이나 남지 참여리 가두신 이유면 뒤도 시뒤 말아서라 근데 지 소소라 카르 연나 지 Pinjo da Nyandra da Kor da Kariyana Thomer ke Pinto go Mari Mara Tine Sozo Tamil Supayan Sozo Nyamdun Rosa Yama to do Sozo ge Lake and not Sozo send the Nyamdun Drogo Yori to do Maranto Pinto as you go Yoris to do that to Pinto Yoras and Maranto Yamni Punjo from the Jab that is truly Yamnation to do Maranto take a Pinto Yoris, take up.
Chutang Kyabdro.
Lao ta shu nyamne xia da tene kunju sum la ngam so kyap sun dro ne tene shu nyamne xia ra ba tene mong ba.
Re.
Kela ji ta se sima kyap tum ge kunju sum ba ha ko ne tene ngaro shu nyamne xia lao.
Whenever we practice any kind of Dhamma practice, it is also very important to consider that this life is impermanent, that death will occur one day, and that we are not sure when death will occur. So therefore, in a way, we have to consider that there will be a next life. And when we think about the fact that there will be a next life, then this also means that whatever we have right now, whether it is our wealth, whether it is our fame, our career, whether it's our families, our friends, that all of them, we will have to leave them behind, and they will not be something that we can carry on with us. They will also not be there to support us when we die. They will not be able to help us in that moment. Even our body will be left behind. The only thing that will carry on is our karma together with our mind. And therefore we need to rely on something. We need to have something in our hands that will support us in that moment, that will have the power to protect us, to benefit us. And what is that? That is the practice of taking refuge towards the three jewels, knowing that they are the ones that have the power to protect us when it comes about leaving this body, going into a next rebirth, and the Dharma practice itself. So with the various stages.
Tene chene sozo ge tene chik le ge de ge ong ro yori tene ngaro zo ge tanda le ge wa drup yak ne pe nyu sa ro ge yori tene de ba me ge wa ne ro yin ge ha ma go tende ngala mo bo si sa ro yori tela tene tene ngaro zo ge se chima ngi zo la so pe tende tene tene tar ba to ya ge ko ka pe ka bo re tende ge ta ngaro zo tari ge tenjo tela 인벌레 투바든데 시 삽삽치야 직더 되네 신에 되네 소소 탈바터비아 소소 탈바 동의 민용과 대진된 바트 탈베 코모 터브요리스 근데 대소도 지구 많이 봤음지 탐지 대화도 받지바 동의문도 지바 근데 탐지 삼나다 도서도게 다 개왕음이 파말라서 같은데 삼나다니 랑란도 바카리 여바테노기 신심제 탐지 지바에 발라 삼나다니 전주선도 줄에 대하게 근데 소소게 삼나 전주선 예야 근데 일단 답이 뭐버시 양대양 비고 여러 생각하고 민중도 전주선 과도 지때 삼삼 진리게 알아도 유라게 되고가 nen데 디고로 삼는 방법이 요리스
Lama la tangi chiko masongro di tanda kanetue son tandang kejadi.
계좌대 당 알아서 단다 신네 알아서 되는 레간만 계지는 저거 요리스
Ale tata chiwa mitagwa kola tarwa.
시투 되는 시타는 알아서 레게 지는 저거 요리
Re.
알아서 샤기는 레 미케와게 안게 니조스음라기나 동의 몸배 용거요리스 티치도 알아서게 레 미케와 몸보 랑인게 산저거 참마고 거는 개와 알아서 누가 산 티티레벨라
Tadi ngonche ta ngondo kecha da borevela. Yana re.
다리 등아 민중 계좌티가나리 나다
Ale ngejun kecha kaisen di kos.
텐데라 삼노 따니 나로도 민중 계좌 직당 신심제 탐지라 삼노 전직선 계 저저 양데 양소도 nen데시네 소소 귤랭 민중의 전직선 계거리스
Ale tahako. So why are we now talking about that? So I somehow missed the point in the previous explanations of Lamala. I didn't hear what he said. So we are talking here about developing renunciation. So when we want to develop renunciation, we have to consider impermanence, the fact that we will leave this body, death is imminent, and so on. So we have accumulated virtue, positive deeds. We have also accumulated a lot of negative deeds, oftentimes without knowing, sometimes maybe we knew. And when we leave our body, those actions, in other words, our karma will be what decides, will be what drives the mind to a next rebirth. And therefore there is a great danger, of course, that we fall back into the lower realms based on the negative actions that we have accumulated. And it's also very difficult to obtain liberation. But that's exactly what we need. We need to obtain liberation in order to get free from suffering, and also in order to be happy, which is what not only we want, but what every sentient being wants. So from the aspect of renunciation, one also comes then to develop bodhicitta, because just what we all want, which is to be happy, to be free from suffering, is what all other sentient beings want as well. All other sentient beings have been my parents in one life or the other, and therefore they extremely feel the same way as we do. They have exactly the same wish. And therefore thinking about all of that and the suffering that they are encountering, which is also the suffering I experience, and so on, then we generate bodhicitta in our mind stream. And we need to really put a lot of effort into generating bodhicitta. We have to contemplate about this again and again and again. So it's something where we need to focus on repeatedly in order to generate it in our mind stream and make it become firm.
민중 전습선 민중의 전음들에 nende지는 소수 율라 끼트나 되는 알아 저게 때 건적으로 탈바다 탐지 챔비 고모 터비하게다 알아서 쇼도 출발했다 때 알아서 저게다 건적 근데 뒤땡나 되는 알아서 가르 가르 냠내시나 되는 때 약부샤가 요리스.
And therefore, when we focus on these 2 points, on renunciation and on bodhicitta again and again, then we will be more and more able to generate them and stabilize them within our mind stream. And this is really, really important in order to be successful in our practice, as was mentioned, but is also crucial to achieve what we call liberation or even supreme awakening.
Now, today, I milu tondan demba, milu lamba tela, ton yakbo drup to bat, today charioris, today.
And also they support us in our next life until we obtain ultimately liberation and Buddhahood by giving us again a human rebirth, for instance. So they are also important to get again a positive rebirth in a human body.
This is the PM Tico La Momboji Shaw, Tinning around the Tanda Chiton have gone down la Kajab do Chigetella Nino la Sachin Ravojige Trupin Hinduala Joala, Tinny Jamro Sendi Ujila Hagomba, Tinny Wan Dawad Jesus Land Joe, Gawa Chonjula Wawa, Pio, Tinny Sachin Ravo Truta, the Toma.
So if you have the manual, the commentary of Kakyab Dorje at hand, then you will be familiar with his way of structuring the commentary in 6 points. So if you have it there, then you can see it starts with like the preparation, and then with the main part of the practice, the visualization and recitation of the mantra and so forth.
Today, Tinning around to Joala Semji, say at the Tinning around to a contour Tada Sanji should not so you should not change, but roll up in just Sanjin Rubaho, Setina, Tela, the Jamra, the Semji Nika, Tina, and do the years.
So in the first point that Kakyab Dorje explains, he talks about the preparation, or what the text here calls opening. So here in this point, he talks about refuge and generating bodhicitta.
Teaching also Jamra Tende and Bongo Tamba, no eat in the Sozuki, Semla, and then she go a lot in Dungeon Namgala, Papa Jerez, Sanji, Jamne Tamjin, do the number Papa Jerez, Hugh, Team Dula, Sozuki, Japson Rova, that in the Simjing get to Shia, Tigas, Japson, Team Dula, don't take home go yours.
Jangju Semtang Kibit Kablat and Kiamru Dumbe Kablara.
Oh, la.
Therefore, when we then go into this first point of taking refuge and generating bodhicitta, then when we recite this in according with the text of the practice, then we visualize as a support for our practice, for refuge and bodhicitta, Chenrezi in front of us. And Chenrezi is embodying all jewels, so all objects of refuge. Ngatsu semjin tamchin nyam sangma nyamdu yo suimbe.
Yori la semji tamji nyamdu la tin so tagor de semji tamji nyamdu la tin jere ta jamro de semji tishigu yoris de jamro semji tan sanne tin jere sekile ma so wudu hinu rong ngaron so la tim so sambe mo bashinan dio zaris.
And when we recite refuge and generating bodhicitta, then we think that we are gathered there in front of Chenrezi with all sentient beings. And we recite this prayer together with all of them. And then once we have finished reciting the refuge, then we can imagine that Chenrezi dissolves into light and into us.
Tene ngaran sowe jamdra hyu seya tene sozo ge chik shi mandu be chik ta mekhin la rokpa hyu ba ten hang yin re se sozo ge ta chik tarba da tamji chimbe kombon tawya la tene jab tumgen jamni loa mi ba chik la rokpa hyu go yore te sanji tamji ki ingji rangzu yawa tamji chik dun du de be namba tene jene se ko kyap loa me ba yin kong ge kyap song sam ba so zo ge yi ji da de ge gon ne jam ro shu bi yore ne kong ge dun la nge sim je tap ji ge thon do la ne chen ne se ge khom ba thon ne sim je ge thon shi sam be ge di ge ji so zo ge chang jip sim ge sim je la phe thok kin se ge tham jan ro de du nyam de la ne yore se
Taking refuge, that's what we do in this part. What does it mean actually to take refuge? It is a way of, we are asking for help, or we are asking for support in what? In achieving liberation and Buddhahood. So in order to achieve that, we need the support, we need the help of somebody, and those are the objects of refuge. They are able to give us that support to be able to achieve full enlightenment or liberation. And we do need not only an object of refuge, but an authentic, an undeceivable object of refuge. And this is here in this practice Chenrezig, who is the embodiment of all objects of refuge, which are all the three jewels, the non-deceivable objects of refuge. And we are here directing our intention and our prayer directly at Chenrezig as the embodiment of them, with firm faith, with firm trust and devotion. And at the same time, we also express the wish, may all sentient beings be liberated, may they all attain the stage of Chenrezig. So this is what we do in this first part. So we take refuge and we generate bodhicitta together.
Tichi tu ngaran so ge ngege simje thongchi sambe tela ngege thongchi tukji mari ji kan nge jongji mari yongji mari tende ge ngaran so ge sambe ge namdo de go yo mari te sinan ji yo mari singe ge chigo sam tamjashina samba sambo ti ge yenge tende ngaran so tende tela tende soza dubjan chine tende thong simje ge thongchi tubya ge
Ale tangchi sanangi pala sangi kobla kurochis ta kuwarsho se adireve la tangchi saratu.
심지게 동시기 세요라라 단다 가로도 건도로 단다 심지세 아디지 당가로도 심진라 동시기 세요라라 심진라
pentuins ritangi sangi kobala kugi inro
거기 있어야 돼. 띵아로 속에 대 거기 나딱고 특지 말이 삼백이 된대게 알아서 삼바 지지요 말이스.
hakos. And therefore in that moment we are also not only making the wish, may all beings attain Buddhahood, the stage and awakening of Chenrezig, but we are also making a commitment. So we are wishing, may I lead them, may I be able to bring them to full enlightenment. And in that moment we should not be disheartened and think, yeah, well, I can recite that, but I'm not able, I don't have the power to bring sentient beings to awakening, I don't have the power to do that. So we should not be disheartened or think in that way, but by doing this commitment, by generating this really wide mindset, this really wide motivation, we are accumulating lots of merit and wisdom, and we are purifying also a lot of obscuration and negativities. And the power, that very power, what we're doing there, that very power is the power that will make able to bring that about, to free sentient beings. And therefore we should not be disheartened, because what is needed to free them is what we are cultivating right in that moment.
tela changjup sem ye sego tiki nyamne te ta tonle se ya te 건조로 알아서 심지 탐지라 파 펜톡 효 중에게 들라 펜톡인 세야게 딘데게 소소게 류론줄라서 바게베서와 카르는 심지라 아야 참배기 냠니 샤디요리 심지 탐지게 동에다 동인기 주다 제바 소소게 수레네 다게 동에 시긴 세야게 닝제리 다데 샴 닝제 닝기 냠니 딘텔라 소소게 롱징업라 잔네 텐데 신나 텐데 직대 청라와네 텐데 숨겨레스 이거는 소소게 직 컨트롤 셈 쭉잡고 지거는 알아서 시야데 텐데 레톱 심버서 어떻게 요리스
We repeat the prayer of refuge and generating bodhicitta 3 times, and after that we remain for a moment with the practice of Tonglen, of taking and receiving. So this practice of Tonglen is a part of the practice of bodhicitta because it includes the 2 aspects of compassion and loving kindness, which are part of bodhicitta themselves. So they are part of the practice of bodhicitta. And therefore, what do we do in this practice of Tonglen? So we practice loving kindness when we connect it to the exhale, give all our health, our body, our possessions, our well-being away to sentient beings. And on the inhale, we practice compassion by taking all the suffering, all disease, whatever problems they have upon ourselves. So these 2 practices of loving kindness and compassion are linked to the breath. It is said that that is a very a very good way to become familiar with the practice, to become stable in that practice, and therefore that's why it's linked to the breath. And if we practice this with a very strong determination and focus, then we will accumulate a lot of positive karma in a very short time. It's a really, really powerful practice, in other words.
라오 지단네 콘도 참마다 콘도르 텐데 돌아 냠네 야고 니든 튜 카드 주소랑나 소소게 텐데 직 삼노 돈에 라소가 유가용다 요시드나 베 케이션버리스
주주 카드 유나라.
주소 카드 유나 라오라.
This practice in general is something that all of you already know. You're doing this already for some time. You are all acquainted and familiar with it. This practice of Tonglen is something that is great to do whenever you have time, actually. So you can do it whenever you have a free moment. That's really important.
Now, 대찬네드네 단다 류라 대이 짬네 제네스 검켜바 짬로 숨산네 제네스도 소자 마우도 히노 소자라 튼고 삼난 모바시 그자레스
타디 짬네 디 똥렌 차차웨 죽라리 응을라리
다 똥렌게 캬바멘도 짬로 숨땅 그라발라 짬로 숨땅 차디 되게 지라 나오나.
And again, after you have repeated the refuge prayer for 3 times, you visualize that Chenrezi dissolves into light and into you.
다 데레드네 디젤라다 모지든 알아서 하고미야리 하고미야다 지도 니나라 시디요리 니나라 조마진라버데 다 라미미마 선한다 하고미든 알아서 심지 탐지게 지울라 되는 알아서 검교를 살아제레서 도와 심지 탐지게
리 담보 카레 숭숭 라말라
다 모지 하고미야 데레스 다 모지 하고미야 데라다 지던 디노라 차도 마세 요리 디노 마세와 데라 라우 알아서 심지 탐지다 알아서 이게 지울라 gom go yore te simji gom ju tu chi khayi lu khayi ra tundro manda tindege nambala gom magum chin tu sama ji tundro ira la so tu sama ji ngaro so ge tne tinjur ge mi namba shi gom go re se ate ta samarum ba chi ge nende sung du ting ngaro so tam exi peja dina yama tu ngaro so train go res
Ani la ina la thang lama inde so
dan ruwa simje tamji
Ruwa samje
tinjur
tamji
ge
mi
namba dit ula
la so ha. And then we start with the actual part of the practice, which is the visualization of the Yidam, here the Yidam Chenrezi. And in the text itself, so this explanation starts where it says the second part, deity meditation. This is on page 33. And so in the book. And everything is pretty clear here. The explanations are pretty straightforward and easy to understand. But there is something that is not said in this text, but that Shama Rinpoche has explained. And therefore, Lamala would like to convey this to you. So this point is that in this practice, when we visualize Chenrezi on top of our head, we also visualize all sentient beings around us. So we invite all sentient beings to be with us there, to practice with us, and they are really present. And they also have on top of their head Chenrezi. So of course there are all kinds of sentient beings. There are animals, there are gods, pretas, and so on. But we imagine that all of them now are not there in the form that they have in that life, whether it's an animal, goat, sheep, whatsoever, but they are all present there in a human form. They are all there with the precious human body. And in that form, they also, each of them, have Chenrezi on top of their heads, just as we do.
Tene ngarang soge ta jitu rong yinsim je tamji ge jitu la pema carbon dama jeba di tingla tene yege shi ta tuza pije lab goza mari peja corona la seba yori tene jik sozu ge jik man domba don du tene tige domba ta mikpa sem hindo mayingwa tila ma sik tang rim hin tila ma semba te shiguris dongum drangmas
Karese di? Sigdi?
Doya da gomya nyamt dongum drangmas
Ale, doya tangomya.
nyamt
Karese sig dan nyam.
dongum drangma drangmas ni
And then so in this process of visualization, there is not maybe the need to explain it in detail, because it's all in the commentary that we imagine. First of all, lotus with 8 petals, and on top of that there's the syllable Shri, and so forth. And then we recite the various parts of that main part of practice, and we also visualize, focus on, concentrate on the Chenrezi above our heads. But so here what we have to do is not only recite or not only visualize, but we are supposed to connect the two. So to really connect our recitation with the concentration, the focus on Chenrezi. So we should try to, as much as we can, be one-pointed in these two practices and bringing them together without distraction.
Donna ta jere sikti ta ngarang soge ta kundo da chalu da chaksin da tine soma da nelema gomya na da tina tinde se yu tina yin ju so so ke ju la gomgo yoris.
And then the way how we visualize and connect with the presence of Chenrezi is how it is explained in the color that is explained with all the various symbols and attributes and their meaning.
Tene te sozo chiu la gomne ta te ngarang zo ngoji la gomya teri ti gomda ta sipte nge lapsu mendu tene sozo peja da nina la oyori ko tina si de ba matu chi nga ti la music ya mendu la.
And Lamala says, I have nothing special to add here to how we concentrate on Chenrezi on top of our heads, because it's all very, very clear in the booklet, in the commentary itself. So I have nothing particular to add now.
Tene ngoji la gomba si ti jela ngo andaya tela tene ngo manda ko la ngarang zo tutam ku segre da ngaro to chere segla suwa tamne ta chige ngando la shinji lo seya ge chi sa de la ku ma shi anda de la tutam ku segre de ge tutam ku ne ne ngo anda tu ne chere ko was allow ta te ngo ye
de la kulia di ngagdam bekablara
re la ngo mandang ge ngo la re
alle lo
o tutam ku
ngöshigi
re la ngo ji na la re la ngoji tela la gomba da ngo ndawa de jindo ngo ndaya tela tene chi tukdam kuya chi da ngo ndaya chi mi do la
ale ngoshi nang lola
la.
So this is all the visualization on of the Yidam and the focus on the Yidam, as well as the prayers, recitations that we do, are all part of the the so-called main part of the practice. And in this part, we then also have the exhorting of the Yidam. So it's the part where we then really directly direct our prayers towards Chenrezi, and we say, bless me, and so on and so on. So we are really asking for the support and the blessing of Chenrezi. And then another part that follows then is the recitation of the mantra, which is also part of the main part of practice.
Teta gunta tanda ngaro to ni na la yang yin la dumba ji we de tai ngo go la ji su du tin da ko chi dong ngaro to sik tai kong la hi ba na ye de yin la dumba de dong du tin sik kin na la shaba pya ka la ni shaba pa de ba pyu sam la cha sam la chia ka la so so ge lu nga yi sum ke cha chi yu sam be ki na ne sik dong hier ya chi na tin de yo ris
Sik tung
Now that they call a huge so what sick don't you know you gum you go your ten my each year at the back up near the Jesus do that.
Lamala apologizes because he forgot to mention the 7 branch prayer, which is after the more or less quite at the beginning of the main part of practice. So here it is okay if we just visualize the various parts of the 7 branch prayer when we recite them. So there will be the part of prostration. So in that part, then we prostrate with body, with speech, and with mind. So while we recite, we also mentally connect to what we are reciting, and we really imagine doing that. And then there's the part of offerings, and we imagine that these offerings are so extensive that they are, limitless. And therefore, these 7 branches, we just visualize and follow them the moment we read them.
Then took them good turning around so on that took them good at the Tandanin on a duty cigarette, take it, take on a kayin on a yebat in the Jew Tandaninola and the Gelo Pema Carbonzi took them good gauging don't out that what didn't dumba no yin or town can make the Tigoria Marati, Jelanga and Dia Cabla, and that you are also. 공급 제레스 미파투스 야포 직셈나 샤네 드는 거 안다고 요리스
테네건다 툭담 küye dikara pema karpo kiluglak mangbo yorese
리다데 코 탄다 니 디나르 페제 디나도 되게 너 코 티가로 마 툭담 kü수 안데가 되게 나라 데코 직통 헤리아라리 라다
reti pema karpo gimara
디나 요리라
ale pema karpo
onzi xiaobaji tinda de ni no le sha do la
ale laso. So just before the part where we repeat the mantra, there is this exhorting the yidam, asking for the blessing of the yidam, and there are various traditions with various lengths of this kind of exhortation. Here we have the verses by Pema Karpo, which are added into this practice, so we just repeat them as they are given to us in this format, in this sadhana, as it is compiled. And then after this exhorting, asking for the blessing and the transmission of the enlightened qualities of the yidam onto us, then we start repeating the mantra.
choga digi nala choge ge peshe na mi supon raji na go da la pa komba chata sango yori ti nangge ni choge ge ta go jamro semji juk ji ngo la so chata sango ti nangge ma ndaya sing mara so mi ge supon raji ni ning na jiris ki che gyo na chadoris.
Just as for the human body, it's necessary to have all the various parts. So it's important to have legs, it's important to have hands, a head, and so on. In the same way, also for our Dharma practice, it's important that its various parts are complete and are gathered. So there's, for instance, the preparation, there's the main part, the conclusion. And when we now talk about the mantra phase, then this is considered to be the heart of the practice. So it's the most important part of the practice. And Mark di ena sem suimbe.
La
Mayingba su mayingba sem mayingba.
Oh, ngọ andagreba yo semba ji aratun jikni chawala so batinde mike wa namdo la so game sem hienda la mayinwa.
And when we recite now the mantra, then we have to combine, to unite, in other words, body, speech, and mind. So they need to stay together while we repeat the mantra. So for instance, the mind during the recitation should not sway, should not get distracted by, our worldly tasks or all kind of other things that are not now relating to the mantra practice itself.
Tishitu korasne keishamba ingo be junzela tenne ngaransola ngog nubachi yoris tingenzing nubachi yoris tenne ngaranso tujunde segu zege nuba tinde ta kongo sanji ge tinchi be kaga nubas tinde nuba mombo yoris tishitu ngaranso ngo anda tele nuba ri sem yingso na tenne sem tingenzi tele yingso na tenne tingenzi ge nuba tak to kuyo maris.
Why is that important? There are different powers to different things. So we could say like each aspect has an own power. For instance, there's the power of speech, or there is the power of samadhi. Then they talk about the power of substances. They talk about the power of the words of the Buddha, and so on. So there are various kinds of powers related to various things. And when the mind gets distracted, then it's not possible, for instance, to harvest the power of samadhi. So that's why it's important to have access to the power of samadhi, to develop the power of samadhi, that the mind gets not distracted.
Tasna sem yijob se no yile job se ya te khandre ge job yora se na ni yi meke wa ge on de la munro wa job ya te le ni yijob se endaris.
The Sanskrit word mantra carries the following connotation. So man is referring to the mind. It comes from manas, which means mind in Sanskrit. And cha refers to protecting. So to protecting the mind. And from what? Protecting the mind from negativity, from non-virtue.
Kharatne yi mikewal ansona de mikewa ketne tiki kembege ne mikewa lesa ondogers le tiki namige ngara so ni zola so patri mambo nyuirs nyukogers.
And why is that important? Because when the mind goes towards something negative, towards something that is not wholesome, then also negative karma will follow. And when negative karma follows, then a rebirth in the lower realms follows.
Tine tela tine guru rinpoche la soba tinde ki sum kyores ngaran so pak mi ba shinne be lo mombo chik tine ngo andalele pagyu shinne tine chik nawa chik sin ngo andana tin mi ba shegri sum kyores pagyu sena sembarge ting dila neba tine ngo anda tu yo chik ngo anda yinda yi kecha he yo chik ngo anda yinda yi sha tung yi ra bu tinde 마인 바코로 tsama dago yoris.
Pagme katsu, pagme dawa chigmare, mitse kan chatsang chikandese?
방명게 로 딜레 파유게 나와 진데나 데 페오시.
Ale pagme gilochik, dawa chik.
근데 인다 된데다 재면.
That's okay. So the Guru Rinpoche said the following, that it is better to recite one mantra, for instance. Lama does not remember the exact time that Guru Rinpoche mentioned, but it is better to recite the mantra cautiously with attention and alertness for just 1 month rather than reciting it for a year without presence, without caution, without focus. So in other words, when we recite and then in the middle we start chatting with someone or we start drinking tea, then that is not being cautious, not being really present and alert while reciting the mantra. And therefore it is better to recite just a single mantra really present and cautious than 1,000 mantras without being present.
Tene yige ngaro so ta chula tanda cheres gomhyori tike chi ngaro so kundo da chalu da genja da tuzo so rimbe ki tene pala semteya da tene yo tike chi ngo tike cheres kul woze tru ngaro so tene chi ta dikba driba tungwa la so ba tuzo tamji tene pe sha hyang na cheres tele kul woze na so tru ne tene ngaran so mumba la tene dramatic panna tene mumba de sound no pe ten no yi ngaran chere security was it ngaran so yuge mada be tene digba driba tungwa ni ba la so ka tende samanji tha tene tha to sambe ke tende me ba gomya da.
When we repeat the mantra, we can do various things as help for our focus while we repeat the mantra. For instance, we can focus on the apparition of Chenrezi, his color, or the various attributes, the various adornments, ornaments that Chenrezi has. So we can gradually focus on this part or that part. And then we can also focus on the light that is radiating out of Chenrezi. So Chenrezi is emanating manifold colored light from himself, and this light has the power to purify all negativities, all veils, defilements, all kinds of shortcomings, downfalls, and so on. It is just like, you know, when you take a candle, you go into a dark room and light that one candle. Then in that moment you light it, the room gets freed from the darkness and one can see. So in the same way, we imagine that Chenrezi radiates this manifold colored light, and it touches us, and thereby we meditate that all these defilements and negativities are purified on the spot, just as with the example of the candle.
Tene thongma mibane tade padula ninange tene tagi ninange driba yorwala wa tuzo sama donna ne ta hitim yondula so ba tende tamji tha ne tene ngaranso sama ji na ju ge simje tamji jene ge kurchu tene shi ge no tuzo sama ji dewa jingi singamda tene ji sinda mazin Sena ngaranso simpati meza tundro la so pe keta di dra da ya mazin pe ching jwa la so pe dra to so tamji ma yi tu pe dra la dra yin sambe tendre ke wala samno to ya da donna to so gona so so mi pa shi ne mi pa tendre chi that is.
Another thing that we can bring our focus to, our concentration, is to the same process for all sentient beings. So since beginningless time, we have all accumulated veils of duality, of the dualistic perception. And in other words, in the Dharma, we speak about the two veils of knowledge and the two veils of affliction, and the other veil of affliction. So these are common for all sentient beings. So in the same way how they are purified by ourselves, by being touched with Chenrezi's light, the same way we can focus on all sentient beings, that the light from Chenrezi radiates and touches them, and thereby they are purified from all their veils, all their negativities, and instantly they themselves become Chenrezi, attain the level, the realization of Chenrezi. And then also we can focus on the surrounding, the world that we live in or that surrounds us. So the whole place, buildings and so on, every place becomes the pure land of Dewachen, of great joy. And then also all sounds transform. So we can also focus on the fact that sounds transform. Sounds now are the sound of the 6-syllable mantra. So whether we are talking about sounds that are produced by sentient beings, or we are talking about sounds that are produced by an object or by some kind of natural phenomenon such as wind and so forth. So these are various stages or various points of focus on which we can base our recitation of the mantra.
Teri tene ngaranto jeren sikte gomdu jeren sikte soso chiwla jeren sikte ye ninde pa tane gomna dena drigona yang soso nduna ninde deona soso mipa kare dena chepa yo maris ne jikjene ku shejung tuzo soso ge yang mipa seala ne ku shimbo tinde gomna mipa seala des pengeri se tinde sungyoris tomato jige so susi senda which chejung taji to nearby your mate genetic non don suju ke no himbala tomba yimba ne sanji tamji intuitive namba yimba king around to hako is damne kundimba.
We can visualize Chenrezi on top of our heads in either direction. So it could be that he's directly kind of sitting on top of our heads, facing the same direction as we are. But if it's easier for us, we could also imagine that he's facing us. So he's like located in front of us, in the space above in front of us, facing us directly. So this is something that is up to you based on how it is more accessible and easy for you. And also about the size, you can experiment and see what feels most natural and easy. So it could be that it's rather a big size of Chenrezi. This is said usually to be easier, but again, you can see what is easier for you. What is really then important to know and be aware of is that the appearance of Chenrezi is made, we are talking about emptiness and appearance are one. So you are aware that yes, Chenrezi appears, but at the same time he's empty. And so lacking a true existence, he is not something material and yet appearing. Jana shilamna digra, Jana shishargiri.
Laso injiri ta chenang Sanskrit hakori.
Me ja Sanskrit I just wanted to get a confirmation from Lama that in fact we think that the appearance of Chenrezi is like a rainbow. So a rainbow appears, but at the same time it's empty. There is no essence, nothing to that you can grasp, and therefore it's also empty. Appearance and emptiness are one. In the same way, Chenrezi appears, and Chenrezi is also the union of all Buddhas. So we should really think that Chenrezi is embodying all the Buddhas. We should know that, not just think, but we should know that he embodies all Buddhas.
So tine ta ngoji kabla tinde res chiton ngaran so chi ha drup la menda nda ba sung yores khara sena ta ngaran so chere sik so ya tua temne telama utrup ya chek down tine yo so rimbe ge ta riba jan yo so ha tin us jura tinda ba yores ta tanda ngaran so chere sik ma shilap ya tinda ba Tsaris.
Ale ta druptang ni kare chason chikte sarwa tamne?
Soa tamne ta tele shilap hinu jere sig. Tele ya soa de tele ma shilap ngotrup hiyo ngaro so shilap ngotrup hiyo jek tang jek de so rong de ta la rong la de nisme ba nyamba. Gomya jik.
Ale chikte la ta so ni tade de gro chikte rang la timne chik tu gyo.
O ta temne so rong de la de jundra atela.
La so. Ani nga so kare chik yore din ni nyang.
Ta da tindrabu ta tanda ngo tige ta ngaro so la la gomne soa ta ti shilap ngotrup ma hyuyoris. Ta ti jela tine ngaro so ti kongo ta ti tendre chin sozu ge ta nga kazi ndagiyo na ta zamba ti ta sozu tine tutu la tine samshagre bala. Man samshag tine ngaro so ge jeresik jiwo tile tine waze chune noju tamji wudu hini jeresik la tem jeresik wudu hini sozo la tem sozo tine luji rimbe wudu hini sozo nga korda tine shila tem shi kali tine nini ka tomba chune tine diga la nyamba kaya teris.
Ale tadi timrim di redua ta nganso chitso la ötushu ta takarang re. Nganso la tim gogyo marbe.
Re sendang tanda lapso la chitsu la jeresik jiwo gomta ko tile ta da san tile waze chune noju tamji jeresik tila tem. Jeresik tu wudu hini sozo la tem. Sin sozo rimbe dine luito me hini tuke sabong ngakring da sabong le tim tin sabong shi rimbe hini nimi ka tomba tinga la shaya.
Tangye chik gotsu ma song. Tangbo di re koryu korang Chenrezi ne ötöne rwa nganso koryu jikten sangma Chenrezi la tim.
Oh la.
Tine Chenrezi
Wudu hini ngarang la tem.
ngarang la tim ale. Tine ngarang ki
Dupo ta tu da me hini tuke sabong dang tila tini sabong shi tini kali tini wudu hini nimi ka tombe nga la shaya.
re kai se ni kharji ne tri re se na ngatso tanda ngatso ninkala ngak di yeme tanda she yomarwa.
Re ta lab goya mundu kharon ni no la pije ha ko yori la.
Ale la so hakos. Okay, digreta. Okay, and then in general concerning the main part of practice there are two ways. So here we are particularly referring to the mantra phase of accomplishing the qualities of Chenrezig. So one way is that one visualizes Chenrezi on top of one's crown or in front, and one does these supplications, the exhortation towards the Yidam, and then also we think that, particularly in the mantra recitation, that the light radiates towards us from the Yidam, and thereby we get all the blessing, all the qualities, the accomplishments from the Yidam. So the Yidam is sort of separate from us in the way how we visualize. So in that case, on top of us, and the light gives us all the accomplishments of the Yidam. And the other way is that oneself transforms into the Yidam, so that oneself becomes inseparable from the Yidam and repeats the mantra in that way. So we will practice according to the first way, how it was explained, so that the Yidam is on top of our heads and the light radiates from the Yidam, and we purify all our ways and obtain the blessing of Chenrezi. Lama. Timrim di sheo mare tandange.
Rita Timrim thing da genetic no genetic was it no Sinje Tamji genetic Latin genetic wood to him so Rimbe wood to him Bombani
Okay. So then we come to the dissolution phase. Now, how does this work? So Chenrezi is on top of our head. From Chenrezi, light radiates towards the whole, all worlds, all sentient beings, which themselves then dissolve into light and dissolve back into Chenrezi, the Chenrezi on top of our head. And then Chenrezi on top of our head starts to dissolve into light, and then he dissolves into us, and at that point then we also start to dissolve into light, and we rest in the state of emptiness, free from any point of reference.
Tombo Genesis Gom Hyakpa Teladin, Mada bit Nawa Tamji Tiki John Yoris, and Taming Nawaji Yoravala. Taming Arosoji, Daniela Soban Tiki Nawadi, Sa Gom Hyakpa Tiki Tarioris, then Ha Gom Hyakpa Teladin, Aroson Zimbaji Yoria, High Sabekin Zimbaji Yoravala. Take or the bed, then don't bang all a Johnny, Narazo, to Tambage, Kono. So
in the part where we recited the mantra, we were training in purifying and transforming our ordinary perception. So for instance, through visualizing that all sentient beings appear in the form of Chenrezi, we transform our grasping onto their ordinary appearance. For instance, here we have an enemy, there we have a friend, there we have a dear one, there we have an enemy, and so on. So this is ordinary perception, and by thinking that all sentient beings are Chenrezi, then we transcend that and we generate therefore a pure perception. But then again, we have also to purify a clinging that might occur towards that pure perception itself, maybe towards Chenrezi it's himself, because we could start to grasp onto, oh, this is Chenrezi, this is the real thing, this is the real pure appearance, and therefore to also transcend that kind of grasping. Then at the end of that recitation, we dissolve everything into emptiness, also the Yidam and everything else, and we remain in the state of emptiness, the ultimate nature. Chideng gilamala semjen tamche ngak da we kabla ta cherezi la gom go gudua ta di tameki nangwa doyala.
Reila,
Roa.
Gompure,
Kaisena tang
Mada, Simji Tamji, Jula, Genes, Gompiovala.
re. Kaisena ki di tameki nangwa dogbala ta dranye laso pa te di chetu la gomba. Tinengi kare samsuna tang namgu nga su dra tamche yige chukba semjen tamche cherezi nu tamche dewa chingi shingam. Dinri indu kanu chas.
Reila.
Semjen tamche cherezi re mare tha. Kaisena nge re lai yang. Di tameki nangwa dogbala. Semjen tamche nga su ngak yore kabla cherezi la gongo gi me ma to tameki nangwa kan res doksong.
Tinga Daga Kabla Naranza, Tamiki Nawando, Naranza, Genes, Gondiaravala. He get the Tamiki Nawat Dogiaravala.
Di tange di digimare lapsarata. Semjen nge layatine drigmasong tandange tameki nangwa dokpala semjen tamche cherezi la gomgo gi res lai.
Otirevala.
Ale.
Chorus Naranza, Tamiki Nawat, Tanda Naranza, Mitundo, Naranza, no diatel. Ra ni tela tin doya ge shi tela sama tin hai namba shi na ko sama nyam du sha du tel jig ra de jig ni ya mar ba la o ti shi tela tin nga ra so ge chak dang ge zin ba de ti ge tok ba de ka an ro yo ris
Ta dorduna nga so ngak ta we kabla sama cheri ri ki ku yang re ra
nga
petana banashin
da ka bla ta yin u la lab so de nga ra so jiu la genesis gom tele was it go to the kush chalu ta te ga ra ri go ri la
ani di kadu gomgo gi yore tene semjen tamche cherezi yimba kadu gomgo gi yore
ma da ti kabla tin samsam genesis tende gum de genesis le ko le was it true ne ma ra so ge yu ge tin ta me ke ju sami nga do ja he ta la so ba dik ba da drip ba sama tha ni na ge drip ba la so ba tha ne simje tamje ne genesis ke ngo so chune ne nga tamji mani da tamji mani da de ne chinu tamji dewa ji chingam tinde kom ga ta
re di changma re changma ngak da we kabla ta rimba re do thangbo dipa jang thene kon changma cherezi la gyuro changma
re da te khana ne deb ji lo gom tup ke mar ba te so rimbe ji mi pa ji khanda ne man da ka so khon to the same hela mai wa chi te la mi pa
re okay, so I just asked for some clarifications about the visualization part in the mantra phase, and therefore there are these various stages of practicing, and therefore at the beginning, as Lama explained, we start reciting the mantra surrounded by all sentient beings in a human form, just as they were in the refuge part, and all of them are also practicing Chenrezi. They have Chenrezi on top of their heads, and then from Chenrezi light radiates, and this light touches each sentient being, and with that all of their defilements, all of their negativities get purified, and therefore then by completely being purified from everything that stands in their way, negativities, veils, and so on, then they transform into Chenrezi. So these are various points of visualization that we also stages that we train, because of course we can never focus on everything at the same time. So we will always choose on one thing to stay focused on one of these aspects, right? So of course, that's all part of the transformation process of transcending the ordinary appearance. And yeah, so that was the clarification.
Tanda tende temne tene was it tomba ni ngala tene sem kong namdo kongki mago ba chigla khoronge rojing gala tomba ni roji to tomba ni ti gala nyamba khaya te ngaro to ta kondo nilu na ngaro to nonju de ni ju se yure nonju la ta ngaro to 직 다음에다 그 나와 요리 뜻 뭐민게 니줄라 쇼 탐지 등이 말아서 로냐바 동반이 그 토마지 돈이게 런던 잡으셔도 돼 단단 알아서 샘 근데 미미 바 동반이 원래 되는 알아서 샤오요레스
Re nangsultang netsu.
니츠요라
Re netsu nangla kan chiure se tong ni tang.
난주라 알아서 다 군접기 덴바틀라 난주리 니츠라 돈 담배기 덴바틀다 니르게 돈데 테레발라
Re. And therefore, we conclude then the mantra recitation with the dissolution phase or the completion stage, where everything dissolves into light, into the state of emptiness. In other words, in the true nature, in the ultimate nature, in the state where we then abide without following any kind of mental activity. And normally there is the differentiation between the way how things appear and the way how things truly are. So normally we live in the state of how things appear. So there's a lot of discrimination and differentiation between good and bad and pure, impure, and so forth. This is the relative nature, the conventional nature, conventional mode of being. And then when we here finish the mantra phase, we abide in not the conventional way how things appear, but we abide in the true nature of how things are. In other words, in the ultimate nature, or in other words, in the state of emptiness.
근데 디간라 가지 냠바샤나 소소 냠바샤 근데 추이텔라 나온데 근데 라리아 근데 공바 나예레 근데 시노 탐진지 대화진지 신감다 주 탐지 근데 하 제네식라 소바다 다 탐지 근데 와게 다 인삼베 근데 대가라서 콘토 쇼람게 하세나 안다다 테세기요리다 가라서 소소게 뒤준도 스칼라 사기연은 드로기연은 가르치는 딱 소소게 중나 체트 버레스 근데 인사도
슐람 길하세나 팅 나츠 셰고로 샤고로 나츠 당 나믹파 창마딜라
레타 팀믹파텔라 마잉 바시아텔라 세기요리스
이난 슐람 길라디
티가라
슐라라고레 나츠라라고레 냠술렘베 캉살라 셰고레 슐람 길라
다 티가라 라피는 디그리다 말아서 쫄람세나 사야 통연 로야라 소바도 쫄람 라바도 참마라 티네 셈바 마잉 바지 텔라 티야텔라 세기요리라
타탁베 낭마디 테야
탁베 나와도 돼요.
And then you can stay in that state of emptiness, free from conceptual and mental activity, as long as you wish, as long as you're able to, and then you will resume the practice to conclude. So here again, out of that state of emptiness, the true mode of phenomena, we go back to the pure perception that we cultivated during the mantra phase. So instead of just going back to the ordinary kind of perception, we remember what we just cultivated while repeating the mantra. So all sentient beings appear in the form of Chenrezig. All of them are Chenrezig. All of the sounds are the mantra of Chenrezig. Then in the same way, all of the surroundings, all of the places around us or the world that we live in are the pure land of Chenrezig, Dewa Chen. So this is what is referred to as the path of activity. So the path of activity meaning us going back into our normal life, but with a different perception. So then whether we are eating or whether we are walking, it is really important and very good if we can remind ourselves of this pure perception and of this training, and to keep on perceiving things that way.
Now that thing you know lang around lamjer jitu tan donan tujinda so chinji ya teri tene ti jelang around ta ngowa teri geta shanjibla ngowa tene around tindege ha gom ngo daya la sok bege tande ki gewa sa shakwa ta hinya so su ge ta gewe zawa kari wana tada tamji tini ngara zo nguwa malam ge yendep go yore siki nguwa tino la ngara zo nguwa di korzo mimik be nguwa seki wari chanjib shotu nguwa seya degi yendep go yore te ye mato jige ngara zo geza sa ge na nguwa malam ge ye matemna tini ya ngara zo samsam kundra la ni ya gezan jomya la so gewa miba chaya da ya samsam ngara zo ge gewa di hin la ngom ne tinde china ya gewa miba chaya la so ba tinde ge parchi chon ro te miyo ma tinde ngara zo ngwa da molam te pe sha kina so zo gewa kharis sa kina tinde ngara zo langwa lan ro na motan da chine ninde ya ma ko khala ji no wa pe te no yi cha de ri so ngwa molam te chi tu ngara zo chonji rap tinde korzum mimik pe ngwa re te ngara zo le thombo pa la korzum mimik pa de kontu 그 타고 시타와지 레 탐보 바칼레 카보리데 이나 나라 소게타 지퉁게 모아시나 산지 전집선반 남지 계획 자와야 심버티 간지 모쇼나 나게 겨와데 tin노이 산베고네 모아텔은 낸데시 고요레스
Okay, after we therefore have resumed the practice to conclude, and we reminded ourselves of the pure perception, which is what is to be cultivated whenever we remind ourselves of that. So that's what is supposed to be integrated in our daily life, and that kind of consciousness and awareness. Then we conclude with dedicating the roots of virtue. So what roots of virtue, first of all? Anything positive that we have accumulated up to then in the practice. So whether it's the concentration on the yidam, or whether it's the recitation of the mantra, whatever positive we have accumulated, all of that is a root for virtue, and we will dedicate that. The most excellent way of dedicating is to dedicate without any point of reference of the three spheres. So we're talking about the subject, object, and the action. So the highest way of dedicating is free from any of these dualistic notions of subject, object, and the action itself. Sorry, I have to read. What did I write here? So this is a very important part, the dedication, because if we do not dedicate, and what do we dedicate this for? We dedicate all of these roots of virtue for the sake of enlightenment of ourselves and all sentient beings. If we do not dedicate and therefore seal this virtue, it's very easily lost. So this means that it could, it's not certain what will happen with this virtue. And if we have a strong moment of anger, this could completely be destroyed. So it is very fragile if we do not dedicate the virtue. So it could also, if it's not destroyed by anger, it could just get lost, or it could deviate to any other kind of, thought that we have, or any other kind of aim, which could be positive or negative, not sure. So therefore, the dedication is crucial at the end. And of course, for a beginner, it is not easy to dedicate in the most excellent way, as we just said. So without any kind of dualistic notion of subject, object, or action. So it's kind of difficult, probably almost impossible, but it doesn't matter, because we here try to follow the example of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So while we dedicate, rather than stressing, okay, I have to be free from dualism, we should just think about, okay, I'm going to dedicate these roots of virtue in exactly the same way how Buddhas and Bodhisattvas dedicate. So this is called in English, maybe we could say, you know, a dedication like that of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. So we are kind of following in the footsteps of them, and we are in our orientation following exactly their aspirations. And this is therefore very important. So we should also train focused and with diligence in this point and conclude the practice with such a dedication.
나서 두시에는 다 대가리는 지마되는 알아도 표현으로도 표현되는 다 니나라 몽버 시더를 뮤직 휴가스면도 이나다 지금 알아서 제레스 그 곰바다 일라 첨바 되게 되는 알아서 참미가 알아서 그렇게 된데 디바 타야 되는 제레스 그 수험 이게 주반되나 되게 지금 알아서 녀mom바게 드바다 녀mom반 도자게 달아서 되게 드바자야 Lamparu to Simba Troop Tovia, Kusum, Singamlan, Drotovia, Lasso, but I didn't pay Mombo, Sungio, that is.
Pichana said,
Oh, Pejana said summer.
So I forgot to mention that the Lamala said that the dedication is like a steering wheel of the car, so it really decides, you know, where you will go to with this powerful energy and virtue that you have created. About the benefits of the practice, you can look at the commentary itself. It's thoroughly explained there, all the manifold benefits that the practice carries. Just to mention a few, by visualizing Chenrezi, seeing his appearance, meditating on his physical body, focusing on it, remembering him, thinking of him and the qualities he embodies and so forth, has the power to purify even the worst negative actions, such as the 5 negative actions without how do they call it in English? Without, now I don't remember. Without interruption or something like that. Let me just. Probably you know what I mean. The 5 heinous crimes, like such as killing one's father and so on, killing one's mother and so on. So even the most negative actions are purified through such a practice. Then by repeating the mantra, you have the power to purify all afflictions such as anger, ignorance, and so forth. So the mantra, the syllabus itself, have the power to purify all afflictions. In the same way, they carry the power of achieving the 6 paramitas, also to achieve the, let's say, entry card into the pure realms of the 3 kayas, of the 3 bodies, so that you are able to go into the pure realms of the 3 kayas, and so on. So it's all in the textbook, in the commentary.
나서 군다장에 대해서 이런 것과 소전에 다 군다 삼아 주주다 된지가 되는 알아서 다 대리 된다부 고만든나 니나라 두두검나 저끼리 숨겨래 된다부 신의 소속이 콘트트 직 소속 콘트 차청와 지금 빼제나 라피아바 너 이거만드는 니나 두바검이야 우리 두서 냠존이 더나 소속이 직 콘트트 직시 듣는 빼 알아서 다 단다 고갑 선보지를 말아시아 때 계속 계신버리서 알아서 주주 여 말이 되게 주주 세야 소속이 때서 그 건드로 그나요 주주 세야 때인데 터비아요 도스 나라라 냠뉴 스페셜이나 알아서 지 뉴네 텐데 데갑라다 니 거츠거리 주주 여 말 소속이 지 간동 뒤준도 지 윤저시대 알아서 같이 주주 뭐 맨나요 주주 만담네 소소 티근데 갑라 주주 추니야 그때 만지 내진 도 특기도 되나 일이 알아서 내가 몸직대 저 몸보여야 때씩 알아서 탑지시는 춤네 텐데 터야 요리티 마도 저기 주주 국도 거주나 산 tabia 각벌이 되지다 알아서 지도 섬에들 안에 시로지 뜻은 투지세 다 전다 뮤직에 시험도 다 주도 이런 거고
Rere konta di nyung ne kabla koma son tusu kande zo yore nga su kala pangne.
젠다마 뉴네 가랑 알아서 니가 배곰 야의 차지야 배 멍번도 알아 지갑라 동반면도 뒤나 소소게 야지 간동이나 지구에도 그 탑이시네 땅아 주미 삼티어 소소게 주주 추송지 랑도 알아
Ale 하고송 뉴네 나시 그 거기 말고.
주주 동배 갑라 드링 주주 우유 삼면 하송지 배 동바이 삼 하송지 니 약버지 용도면도 배tin 나이나라서 주주세야 소소기 담진시야 된데 요레스
Rere 뉴네 나시 뉴네 망보여 말해서 뉴네라 망보여라.
진짜 갑라이나 그 주주 텀도가 소소 칸도 가주 소소기 다 델리 프랙티스자 주주 텀도 요레스 근데 받달라 테나이든 알아도 지게 샤워때 뭐버지고 티 받달라 냠니시야 때 소소 추나 턱그레스
Ale 뉴네라 나신 소소 균키르 양 투소라기레 세고.
다 베스 뉴네 갑랑 안도 니가 초바초 검야 열어라 이나 소소기 뒤준도 냠니시데 그 받달라 집투긴도 알아
Ale 하고송.
이는가 주주 면도 삼 소소게 되면 배송신도 알아 주주도 삼면 되면 로제션 되면 주주 약보는 되면 룩트면도 배된다 버리스
하고송라. Lamala would now like to conclude. He apologizes because he went a little bit over time. This is it for a short summary concerning the practice of Chenrezi. There's also a lot about the practice in the commentary itself by Kakyab Dorje. And if you are not able, to always stick to all of these points thoroughly, it doesn't matter, just try your best, try to do as much as you can. Whatever you can is really important. This is a very precious opportunity, so please don't lose it, don't waste it, and make time for this, because this is very, very important. So make sure that this precious opportunity does not go to waste, and therefore make sure that you find the time to do that. Of course, we are always, very, very busy, and we always find it difficult to take the time, but we all know that if we want, we can take the time, such as, if any of you have done Jungne, then you know that there's a lot of things to recite, to practice. It's a whole day ritual, and one is really busy when doing that. But still, if you have noticed, one finds the time, even in such a busy schedule, to tend to the daily practice that one usually would do. And in the same way, although we have a lot of duties and work, we have the possibility to fit in the time to do such a practice. So please do that, and don't just sit there and wait that time will fall, into your lap by itself, because that's not going to happen. So please, please, all Dharma friends, be diligent and perseverant with this practice.
Okay, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you and Carlos for having translator. Sorry, quite took a long time.
Thank you, Lama Jampa.
Thank you, Lama Jampa. Goodbye.
Bye.
Thank you,
Lama.
Goodbye.
See you later.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you so much.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Thank you for everything. Friends. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hola.
Okay, thank you.
Bye, Lama. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Lama Jampa. Bye-bye.
Thank
Bye.
you.